Hello. All right. I don't like that one, man. Give this a go here. What's up, guys? Coach Monetti here, and it's a little bit into Monday afternoon, 1 o'clock instead of 12 o'clock or 11 o'clock. Typically, when do we do it? We do it at 12 typically, but it's 1 now. I had a meeting that I had to push this until 1 o'clock. So, if you're watching this on replay, awesome. And if you're live, even better. But today I want to talk about confidence this week. This week's all about confidence, building unshakable confidence. Sometimes people think that I'm confident, and when I was younger, I look at myself and feel like I was maybe a little bit overconfident or even false confidence. I had false confidence. And I think people struggle with it. I have in the past, and there's some things that I still continue to work on. And my default is being insecure and feeling not enough, feeling unworthy, and I don't know why. Always have to remind myself of these things that I'm going to talk about today a little bit. So, just to clear the air, confidence, I feel like, is something that we have to work on, and it's built through doing things that we say we're going to do. And that's from my standpoint, things that I've worked on. And if I say I'm going to do something and I don't do it, then I don't feel as confident about doing the next thing that I say I'm going to do. And I may want to do something, but if I don't actually do it, if I don't actually take the steps in making whatever it is happen, then I'm less likely to do it in the future. And if I keep on doing that, it's like a cycle of letting myself down and being less confident with the next thing that I want to do. And it's, especially now, it's very easy to slip into, and I say now with like social media and all like the noise that's flooding our brains with news and highlight reels, and just we're the most anxious we've ever been as a society ever. And I think social media has a lot to do with that. But in general, the speed at which, especially if you're in the Northeast, the speed at which our lives go can be overwhelming. And lacking confidence, I don't know, it's an issue, I think, and it prevents people from, it's prevented me in the past from doing things and actually achieving things. And at the end of the day, I mean, what are we lacking confidence on? So we're going to talk about it today, and I think that's one of the things that people, when we're talking about fitness and transforming, one of the things that hold people back from actually getting healthy is their lack of confidence in themselves to actually, believe in themselves enough. Like we used to have all over the walls in here, which I'm going to put it back. Believe in yourself was like the first thing, because if you don't believe in yourself, then you can't trust the process, and you're not going to have the opportunity to have patience if you don't believe in yourself first to even get started. And I think a lot of people will even go to our website and then tell me afterwards that they were intimidated by the stories, that they were intimidated by maybe some bodybuilding pictures of me and Karen, and they don't actually even start because they don't think that they can do the things necessary, the things that are necessary to get them to their goal. So confidence is something that it takes work. It takes work for me, especially. And I look back and, I was on MTV back in the day, and those of you who may or may not know that, but I didn't have confidence, and I was not very social. I was actually socially, I don't want to say socially awkward, because I love to talk. Those of you who know me know that I love to talk, but social environments used to give me a little bit of anxiety, because I would not have the confidence to just walk up to somebody and start talking and having a conversation. Now, I'll talk to anybody. But when I was younger, I didn't have that confidence. Well, but when I was young, I did. But then as I got older, I don't know what changed. I think literally moving from North Jersey to South Jersey, I had to meet new people and I was very insecure. I started gaining weight. So a lot of my insecurities bring me back to a place where I was, overweight in a new environment, had to meet new people. And for whatever reason, I wasn't confident with who I was. My solution to that was locking myself in my basement, which was, my bedroom was also in the lower floor of my house, and I would weight train. I asked for a weight bench for Christmas, and I started building my body. And though that is when I started building confidence, when I started putting myself in, I guess in situations that were uncomfortable, right? So, and I say that because sometimes fitness is uncomfortable. Sometimes pushing extra weight or going a little bit out of your comfort zone is uncomfortable. But that's when you build the confidence to do the next thing. So if you don't get started, you're kind of going to be in this perpetual state of lacking confidence. Until you do some things that actually help you build confidence, you're never going to have confidence. And it's kind of like graduating from high school or graduating from college with a degree, and you go to apply for a job, and every employer denies you because you don't have experience. But somebody has to give you experience in order for you to get experience, right? So it's kind of like doing things that are hard and difficult and committing to them and then doing them, and then you have a feedback loop of putting yourself in an uncomfortable situation, challenging yourself, even when you want to quit. In fact, that's the perfect time to do the thing, because then you have something to rely on. But if you don't get started ever, and if you don't ever do these uncomfortable things, and if you don't ever do the things that challenge you and make you feel a little uncomfortable, then when are you ever going to build the confidence, right? So it is definitely a mindset, and it definitely takes work, and it's not easy. And for some, it's easier. And if you see somebody who's really confident, I would argue that at some point that they were not confident and they had to work at it. Or they're just faking it. And usually I'm a pretty good character, I'm a pretty good judge of character, and I can judge if somebody's bullshitting or not. I'm a vibe guy. I can tell if somebody's bullshitting or not, if they're overconfident. But again, doing some things that will give you the opportunity to feel confident. I was having a conversation recently, very, very acute situation that we could pull from. I'm going to talk about his story because he shared it numerous times in this group. I've also done a podcast with him. Jeff was, not in a good place when he came here 2 years ago, struggling just with his confidence and his body image, and just wasn't healthy, wasn't doing things that wasn't doing healthy, didn't have a healthy lifestyle, let's just say that. But he came here and he's been willing to, for the most part, let us coach him and let us give him guidance as to, how we can transform his body, how we can get healthier, how we can burn fat, ultimately, how we can build muscle. And now he's down 60 pounds. So we went to lunch last week, and I was having a conversation with him, and we were talking about confidence, and he's starting to feel a little bit more confident. And that's because he did the things all along the whole past 2 years, and now he's seeing the result of the things that he did. So now he has more confidence with who he is. He has something to pull from. And I keep on, saying this, but if you don't do anything that's pushing you and challenging you, you're never going to break through. You're going to be always feeling like you can't do stuff. So it is, it's definitely something that you acquire through taking action on the promises that you commit to yourself. You can say the things. You can say, I'm going to go to the gym, I'm going to start tomorrow, or I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. And I still wrestle with some things that I feel compelled to do, and I tell myself I'm going to do, but I don't do them for whatever reason. I procrastinate, or I avoid, or maybe I don't feel like it's going to make an impact, so I don't bother doing them. But then I always feel a little bit uncomfortable at night. I'm like, damn, man, just tomorrow's a day. Tomorrow's a day. And if that tomorrow never comes, then you're going to be spinning your wheels with confidence. So for me, it comes down to committing yourself, or, saying that you're going to do something and actually doing it. And even if it sucks, if it's uncomfortable, even if you fail, so to speak, if you know that there's a potential of failing at something, so what? Do it anyway. You're going to learn from it. You're going to get better. You're going to get stronger. And you're going to build that confidence that's going to help you do the next thing. And if you can just understand that failure is just a part of any success, it's just part of it. If you're not failing to get to that success point, then I don't think you're pushing yourself enough, if I'm being completely honest. I don't think if you're just always, hesitating because you're afraid of failing, or if you're hesitating because you're afraid of not being able to do it, then are you really truly living? I mean, do you want to get, I'm speaking to myself right now, and I'm going to listen to this also as well, because a lot of these, videos that I create, I'm really speaking to my inner self and my younger self. And I also use this for motivation, so it's very therapeutic for me to do these videos as well, personally. But I lost my train of thought. If you don't fail, if you don't put yourself in an environment where failure is an option, that's where I was going. My mind came back to me. Are you really living? And if you get to a point, my biggest thing recently, especially with having a little bambino at home, is I don't want to get to be, I want to get to be 80, but I don't want to get to that age and look back and be like, damn, why didn't you just follow through with X? One of my things is creating content. I love creating content. Before I wanted to open up a fitness studio, this is my plan B, actually. My plan A was to be a podcaster, media personality. I love creating content. I love telling stories. I love being in front of the camera. I love being behind the camera and telling a story with editing, and I love all that. It's just, I don't know why, but at some point in my life, 17, 18, I did some stuff for Pizza Hut, really. I worked for Pizza Hut, went out to California, and I was on a national ad campaign, commercial, and I did some print work. And I loved the whole production of it. And I was like, wow, I really like this. So I love creating content now. I don't want to be 80 and look back and be like, damn, why didn't you just go a little bit harder with that? Why did you just, why? And I'm talking to myself right now. And maybe you can pull something from this and think about something that you've wanted to do and you didn't do it because you didn't have the confidence to do it, or you thought it was going to be, a failure, or you didn't think it was worth it, or whatever that you're hesitating on. And obviously this is about, fitness and nutrition and becoming a healthier version of yourself, but really it's life. There's a lot of life fitness parallels that I love to bridge the gap between, because my podcast is called Project My Life, and the project is never ending. It's always continuous. So again, circling back, you want to be 80 and look back on your life and be like, damn, why didn't I ever do that? Why didn't I ever fully commit to it? I said I wanted to do it, and I did really feel like I wanted to do it, but why didn't I ever commit to it? And there's a list of about, maybe 3 to 4 reasons why you never did it. Those are things that are going to help you build confidence, like unshakable confidence. So if you know that you could possibly fail at something, if you know that failure is inevitable, then, well, do it anyway. At least you have a lesson learned. And if you think positive, if you should be thinking positive, but what if it really works out? What if you really are successful? What if that happens? That would be really, awesome, right? Wouldn't it? Of course, you have the opportunity of not being successful, and that's part of the process. So if you understand that that's just a part of it, and it's a project that you're working on, it's kind of never ending, then who cares, really? And at the end of the day, no one really gives a shit about you. I mean, they care about you, but they don't care about, the fact that you tried something and you failed at it, or like really you're the one who's going to have to be dealing with that. And you watch these older folks who are living in a retirement home, and their regrets are that they worked less, that they lived more, that they took more risks. And is it too late at that age? It's never really too late, but I mean, like, really, you can't take those 40 years back or 50 years. You can't take those years back and do the things that you want to do, right? So again, building unshakable confidence, I think it's going to be shakeable. That's just the reality of it. And any headline that says build shakeable confidence is like, you can work on it, but it's going to shake you. And in fact, I think it should shake you a little bit. The things that you're trying should shake you a little bit and push you to do the thing, whatever it is. There's a quote, I believe Roosevelt, Eleanor, I think, something along the lines of, courage isn't the absence of fear, it's doing it anyway, in spite of fear. And that's how you build courage. And I would say that's also how you build confidence. So, wrapping this up into fitness and nutrition, video or concept, we're dealing right now, I started this because we're heading into the holiday season, and, a lot of things are going to come your way as far as, getting, in general though, and this can happen any time of year, but right now it's the holidays. And how you approach your fitness and nutrition, how locked in you are with that, will determine how successful you are. And again, I'm not saying you have to be militant and get up at 3:45 in the morning and slam down 2 whole eggs and take a cold plunge and, drink this and, run 10 miles. I'm not saying you have to be militant like that, but you have to find what's going to push you out of your comfort zone a little bit, and you have to commit to it, and you have to do the hard shit even when it gets hard, because that's how you build confidence. And the more you do that over time, you will build this unshakable confidence, meaning life's going to throw shit at me. I don't care. I'm going to fail. People aren't going to like me. Things aren't going to go right, but I'm still going to do the thing that I committed to because I'm committed to it. Now, how many times do I see it all the time? People will schedule for a session, and I know life happens, and things are going to prevent you from working out at the time that you thought you were going to be able to work out, maybe the night before or maybe the morning of. You put it in the calendar, and you're like, I'm working out at 3 o'clock. 3 o'clock comes around, you got like a random meeting that you have to go to. You can't make that 3 o'clock. Do you just not work out at all, or do you reschedule? I see cancellations all the time, but I don't see reschedules. And that persons, whoever it is, I'm not calling anybody out in particular, I see it all the time. I've been seeing it for 20 years. They won't reschedule, and they just keep on signing up and canceling, signing up and canceling, signing up and canceling. That is doing the opposite of building confidence. Now you're just proving yourself right. But like, you already know, you're programmed now. You know you're going to sign up for that class, and your chances are you're going to cancel it. Because you've been doing it, you built a habit of canceling and letting yourself down on your commitments. Not rocket science here. I'm not trying to teach you some earth-shattering stuff. I'm just trying to get you to, find something that you've accomplished in your life. I know everybody has accomplished something that they could pull from. And it could be the smallest little thing. I don't know, something you did that made you feel really proud. Something that you did that maybe you weren't expecting to do, but you actually did it. And then that's something you're going to pull from now. Like I was talking about Jeff earlier. Now he can pull from that when he has his moments of lacking confidence, because it's going to happen. It's going to happen. You can count on that. There's going to be times where you're not feeling yourself, you're not feeling up for it, you're not feeling 100% confident. I deal with that more than you can imagine right now, recently, in my personal life. But I had to talk myself into it. Sometimes I don't win. Sometimes I talk myself out of it, but then I regret it later on, and that pushes me to actually, listen to that voice in my head the next time. Be like, dude, remember how you felt last time when you didn't do it? And remember how you felt when you did do it? Well, then let's use that for motivation now. Let's use that to get back in the game. Um, so that's really how I build unshakable confidence. It is shakeable, and I break through it by doing things that I'm uncomfortable with doing, and doing things just because I said I was going to do them. Now, I'll throw a little caveat in there, and I will say that some things that you may feel like and want to do may not be the best for you. But you're not going to know it until you actually try it and do it, right? Instead of wondering, at least you'll know. And that's how you build confidence. One of my things was decision making. It's like hard for me to make a decision. I analysis paralysis, right? I think about stuff every different way. The options, what could happen if this, what are the options if this happens? And I get stuck in this analysis mindset, and I don't take action on things that I want to do. But there's one thing that I did do, or a couple things. When we moved into the city from Bricktown, we did it on a whim. I was just feeling like I needed to do something that was going to boost me up and put me in an environment that I was scared. I was a little bit out of my comfort zone. I didn't know anybody. Karen and I moved up from Bricktown to North Bergen. I turned 30, and I'm like, what am I doing with my life? What am I doing with my life? I need to get out of this town. We moved up to North Bergen. Neither one of us had a job. Karen's better with money and saving than I am, so we had some money to like eat, and we had some money to like pay for an apartment for 3 months. Cheech ate, we ate, and we did it for 3 months. In that 3 months, within 3 weeks, I got a job at Equinox, and I started my personal training full-time career at Equinox. Up until that point, we didn't have a job. Neither one of us had a job. We just took the risk. So we'll figure it out. Whether or not you believe in God, whether or not you believe in the universe, whatever you believe in, I believed in myself and said, I'll figure shit out. I'll figure it out. Like, if worst case scenario, I'll go work for somebody, and I know how to show up on time, and I know how to be nice to people, and I know how to do a job that I'm given. So I'll figure shit out. It may not be my ideal job right now, but I'll figure it out. Moved up there, and it was the best decision of my life. Now, that wouldn't have happened. I wouldn't be here right now with this business now, 15 years later. I wouldn't be here talking to you if we didn't do that. I don't know where I would be. But that was a decision I needed to make. The next bold move was we came from North Bergen, and we opened up shop in Somerville. Same situation. We had a little bit of money, and we had a big dream, and we wanted to do something. So we wanted to do something on our own. So we came down to Somerville. Now, was it a super success in the beginning? No. We spent 6 months trying to get the place ready, had no money, didn't know what to do, how we were going to pay our bills, scrambling. I was still commuting in and out of the city twice a week to try to make some kind of money. In the meantime, my dad's car got towed because I parked illegally up there. I had to pay for all that. So I really didn't make any money for a good chunk of time. I was kind of like behind. Came down to Somerville. Once we opened up, we had our car repossessed within the first 6 months. We had our electric turned off. It was a rough road, but I'm so glad that I did it. Again, that goes back to what I was saying earlier about failure. Sometimes shit's not going to go your way. But the fact that I was able to overcome that, and we were able to get through it. Now, when I'm going through shit, I pull from that. I'm like, dude, this is what you were able to do, and this is what you were fearful of, and shit happened, and you got through it, and here you are now in a much better place because of that. So I share my stories with you so you could, maybe relate to it, and maybe just find something that you've actually done in your life that you can pull from when you're looking to build confidence, or when you're looking to get through a time where you're really feeling like insecure and you're not really feeling, 100% rock solid. Because there's times when you are feeling on top of the world. And I can promise you that those aren't forever. And if I'm being honest, those are few and far between. Most of the time, I'm trying to work and get to that point, because life is throwing shit at you constantly. At least for me. You may have the perfect life. I don't know. But for me, stuff is constantly constantly getting thrown stuff that is not perfect. And that's the imperfect world that we live in. And that's how it goes. Now, if you want a perfect life, if you want everything to go super smooth, then don't worry about anything. Just, go to work, come home, and just live a very simple, basic life. And that's fine too. I'm not judging you on that. I'm talking to the people who want to build more confidence, and the way to do that is to do more shit that makes you feel uncomfortable. That's what I got. So let me see what I got. Just wrapping up, I'm going to say start with setting some small goals that you know confidently that you'd accomplish, right? And then slowly those become bigger and bigger, and then that's how you set your standards high and higher, and do bigger and better things, right? I'm not saying you have to go start a business tomorrow. That's a big risk. I'm glad I did it then. I'm not sure if I would do it right now with a bambino at home and more responsibilities, being 46. I'm not sure I would risk it all and do that, but I'm glad I did it then. Now there's other risks like I'm taking and calculated, right? So depending on where you're at in your life, depending on what you have going on, set some realistic goals that you can accomplish, that will help you build the confidence to accomplish the next thing. Believe in yourself, trust the process, and practice patience. I am done talking right now. It is